I were a huge success from about 1965 to about 1967. Yes. And then all of a sudden we were out of style and out of work, and we owed the government $275,000 in taxes. So Son said, give me 2 years and I will make you back on top. We'll be bigger than before. And I believed him, and he was right. He almost was always right. He thought he was always right. Okay, so I put on a gown and he put on a tux, and we went to these really awful dive kind of cafe, I don't know what they were, horrible places, and they hated us. And we cooked in our room in like Motel 6s, and you weren't supposed to. So we started from the bottom and we worked our way up. So we would play like 2 shows a night, 7 nights a week. And in the first show, which was kind of like, it's like a cafe show and you eat, the people didn't care about us. It was like, okay, hurry, we're eating, shut up. And then, but the second show was maybe 5 drunks. And even though there were only 5, they hated us. So finally, Son and I started making the band laugh just out of boredom. And then Son thought that was hysterical, so we did that. And that, if you ever saw the Sonny and Cher show, those became hits. So those became our monologues. So, and that's the way I make up my monologue. I like usually do a little, and if it works, I keep it, and if it's horrible, I let it go. But somehow, I don't know why, I just haven't been able to get it together on this particular place that I adore. So, I'm going to tell you, does it seem weird when I do that? That's just me, okay? So I'm going to tell you about the 3 days it took me to turn 40. All right, it's kind of weird. All right, so on the 19th, close to midnight, I'm sitting in my favorite club, Heartbreak, and I'm sitting on top of a banquette, and I'm drinking a beer in a really short skirt, and I'm thinking, I aced it. I'm not old. I'm 40 and I'm not old. Death missed me. So, and so I'm sitting there thinking how cool I am, and I look over and I see like the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life. Turned out to be Robert Cappelletti, and let me just put it this way: if I was a cartoon, like if I was Bugs Bunny, my eyes would have just gone pew pew pew. They would have had the little round circles in them. And then I would have fallen down with my big feet up. All right, so I grabbed my best friend Paulette, like this, and I said, Paul, don't look now, but over there is the cutest guy I ever saw. And so she went, and I hit her, Girls do that, they're so dumb sometimes. Anyway, she had a big bruise. And so, all night we were kind of trying to play, tag, but it didn't work, so I went home. So then I went to sleep, and then I woke up in the morning, and I was 40. And I get a telephone call from the director of Witches, and he says, wait. So he says, I don't want you, Jack doesn't think you're sexy and you're too old. Good morning, 40. So tears just start streaming down my face, and I'm biting the inside of my cheek so I won't let him know that I'm crying. And then my children come in with bellboys, because I've been living in my friend's hotel, with big cake and these 2 bellboys sitting, and holding it on either side. And I'm sitting in the bed and I'm, oh my God, thank you kids, this is so wonderful, I'm so excited, and I'm crying and I'm pretending that I'm crying from happiness, and I'm not. And so then, they go and I sob. All right, so I've been staying at my friend's hotel. My lovely friend, he went to jail, and no, but he was a great guy. No, he did. No, all right, this is this little story, it's a short story. So my friend, Steve Mill, he had a place called Studio 54, and then there was something about taxes. I don't know, it's the taxes thing. So anyway, there was something about taxes, and he went to jail. And when he came out, nobody wanted to talk to him but me. So he let me live in his hotel, and then I had a $28,000 bill, and I couldn't pay it. So, back up. So for the longest time, David Letterman had been trying to get me on the show. I mean, I don't know if he wanted me, but the producers did. And I always said no, and it wasn't because I didn't like Dave, it was because Dave is very smart, and what I noticed was when people that he thought were kind of inferior or he didn't like them, he was mean. So I thought, I could take care of myself, but I'm not going on there. You know, the hell with him. So it just happened that on one of the days of my birthday, they called and said, we really would like to have you come on, and what do you think? And I said, well, I would do it for $28,000. Yes. So they said, no, we don't do that, we pay scale. And I said, okay, well, I don't do it either then. So they come back in a few minutes, and they said, okay. But the producer kind of said, I mean, we got quiet, and the producer said, okay, you're going to do it, and I understand the $28,000, but why haven't you ever done it before? And so I told him the story I just told you, because I thought he was mean. And then I said, and I thought he was an asshole. All right. So I go on the show, and I don't know, I looked awful. If you ever see it, I got like short hair and a big, I don't know, like huge tent and some leggings and some old sandals. So I go on and we're talking and, you know, we're sparring back and forth and he's not getting anywhere. I'm getting kind of like the last ones in. But then all of a sudden he looks at me. So tell me, Cher, why haven't you ever wanted to come on before? And then I know he knows. And then I'm thinking, and I'm doing it, this is quick, and I'm thinking, all right, if I lie, then the whole rest of the interview is blown because he knows I'm a liar, and it's it's not good. It would have been just so not good. And if I tell the truth, I don't know. So, but I mean, I'm thinking, you don't do that. I mean, back then you just didn't do it. So anyway, I'm thinking rapidly, and then before I can even think perfectly, these letters come out of my mouth, and I can actually see them coming out. Letters, like capital, you know, not script. What do you call the other thing? Printing. So I said, because I thought you were an asshole. Yes. So then I was one leg up, and he was like that. And he was like that for a year, he told me. So anyway, so he said, well, because she thought I was an awfully nice guy. All right, so that was then, and this is now. And the other day I did a 5-minute plank. Yes. For those who plank, you know how hard that is. And I'm going to be 71 in a couple of days. And I just have one question for you. What is your granny doing tonight?